What's up, everyone? I'm sure not many people are going to watch this, or from what I can tell, nobody really cares. They only care about what's going on in their own lives, and um, I'm going to start doing that from now on based on everything I've been through and stop caring about anyone else. I'm going to be releasing a series of videos documenting my supply chain journey from late 2015 all the way through today. I'm going to name names, call out some companies and people that royally fucked me over and stole my career, stole years of work from me. I rebuilt multiple times, only to have more companies and more criminals and assholes and greedy liars steal my life's work, my career, everything I've worked towards to build a better future for myself. These companies include Tailored Services, Taylored Services, and the CEO, Jim DeVeau, who's now retired because a couple of years after he forced me out of the company, he sold it with all my hard work and my deals I had closed, sold it for $209 million to Yusen Logistics. Although I had every right to go after them for what they did, I chose to be peaceful, take what I could get legally. I had to sue them, threaten to sue them just to collect my commissions. So that's really where I realized I should have learned the hard lesson that nobody's ever going to pay once they owe you a certain amount. You close deals that are large enough, nobody's ever going to pay you the commission. The future they sell you of put the work in now for a few years, build a book of business, it's not real because no one's ever going to pay it. They use it as a game, a manipulative way to steal books of business and clients from people and ruin their lives. And it's not just salespeople. A company like Ryder has ruined many, many, many lives. People I know, colleagues and friends. But it's going to start with the journey at Tailored Services. I'm going to tell you every deal I closed, all the work I did, the great things I've done, because I've been one of the most successful salespeople in supply chain for over 10 years. And I never get paid for any of the deals I close. Ever. Never fucking happens. The only company that was good to me and paid what they owed was .com Distribution. But I have to really look back and think they totally left me out, hung me out to dry when Ryder came in and acquired the company. I was not factored into the deal in any way, no plans for me, just take my years of work and my deals that I've closed and fuck me, right? Ruin my life. So we're going to talk about Tailored Services and Yusen Logistics. We're going to talk about a company we're going to include .com Distribution that was good for many years. Ryder System Inc. Everyone knows the warehousing and trucking company, big red R on the trucks. They are criminals. Truly planned, coordinated, go out and fuck people over just to put a few more dollars in their pockets and try to manipulate and keep the stock price up. It's a public company, ticker is R. And then we're going to talk about a couple other companies that I met after all that. Again, went right back into rebuild mode after getting fucked over by these assholes and criminals at Ryder. Met this company called Rabot, R-A-B-O-T. Website is rabot.us, rabot.us. A few foreign founders who came over from Kuwait. They've got a story there, but they clearly brought their values and were raised differently, and they don't know how to treat people here. And I saw that while working with that company for 9 months, absolutely crushing it on sales. I was the only person closing deals at the company. But I never got a cent of my 20% commission on any of the deals for 9 months working there. So I put it to the test. I laid out that I wanted everything papered in my new deal, the equity I was promised. I blew all my targets out of the water, closed more deals than anyone at the company, more than the founders. But they had this plan. This is what I'm trying to say. People plan to fuck over good salespeople. Others as well. There were 6 people left Rabot before I did because we saw what was happening. Poor leadership, liars. All they care about is putting money in their own pockets. And Asura Ranatunga, Chana Ranatunga, and Sandeep Suresh are greedy foreign liars who have no idea how you're supposed to treat people here in this country. There's another 3PL that I closed a deal for that I was kind enough to send leads to for a couple of years because I thought thought he ran a pretty cool operation helping small startup companies. But he colluded with Rebeau. Even after I left Rebeau, had a deal closed with him, he colluded with them and said, I'm not paying you because you sent it to me while you were with Rebeau. But I'll get into all the details on these companies, but let's remember the bad companies, the criminals out there. Tailored Services, who I let get away with it back in 2019, 2020, because I always choose peace. And really should have fought for myself and what I deserve and what I'm owed for all my work. Fair compensation. That's all I've ever wanted. I want what I deserve, what I work for. That's how it works in this country. So we're going to talk about Tailored Services and Yusen Logistics, who bought them. We're going to talk about .com Distribution and Rider System Inc., who bought .com. We're going to talk about many other details and weird things along the way that will show you Rider was out to get me from day one, didn't like me, abused me, bullied me, harassed me, stole my book of business, stole my team members from me immediately. And I could tell from looking at the stock on day one that it was purely manipulated. Hence, I never looked into buying it. I never would want to own the stock in that company. They are truly some of the worst people that exist in this country. Some of the executives there, and that's all the way at the top. CEO Robert Sanchez, someone below him who works for the e-commerce group called, his name is Jeff Wolpov, and one of the worst people, bully, just absolute miserable human being towards others, Brian Weinstein. So we're going to get into those folks. We're going to name some other names as well. Richard Hurley is the terrible criminal CEO at Highline Commerce who thinks he's hot shit. But I'm going to do something about it now because I've 10 years in the industry getting fucked over and having to rebuild every few years doesn't fly with me anymore. And I want these criminals to be punished for it. Whether it's in the public eye and we decide not to work with these companies ever again or do business with them, that's really what it should be. Let them watch their own downfall based on their behavior and how they treat people. But I'm not going to let them ruin my life, even though they've done a damn good job of doing it, because let me tell you, having my extra few $100,000 back in 2023 over the next year or two, because you have to include my salary, they forced me out. I never resigned at Ryder. And I'm getting into too much detail here, but I'm going to release an episode or a series of episodes called The Supply Chain Wars. It's going to be focused on what I did at each of these companies over the years, good things, challenges, and I just want to document it because I'm truly thinking to leave this industry and go somewhere where I'm valued and appreciated and paid for what I'm worth. The reason I'm doing this is I can't watch these assholes and criminals and terrible companies hurt anyone else. They've hurt too many people that I like, that I care about. Can't imagine what the numbers are of people whose lives they've ruined. And I'm sure we'll start to hear about more of them. But this is to document all my successes in an industry where I dominated in sales for 10 years, and I've got nothing to show for it because of these assholes. And they all get extra money in their pocket. That's all it is to them. Yeah, maybe 150 grand isn't a lot to these assholes who, steal millions from other people. But to me, that's life-changing, and I worked for that. I wanted to retire my mother in 2023 when I closed Pat McGrath Cosmetics. Huge account for me, $5 million account, and growing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Supply Chain Wars. I'm going to try to make it fun, have some content, cool videos using Grok Imagine. I'll try to make the content fun and interesting while really trying to keep the focus on how bad these people are, and they don't deserve our business. I don't think they should be allowed to do business in our country, especially Rebeau. Like, go back to where you came from. If you're going to come here and think you can treat people like that and use your story as leverage because you're foreigners and some sob story, that's fucking bullshit. So honestly, Tailored Services and Jim DeVeau, go fuck yourself. I'm coming for you. .com, there's a few people I need to have a conversation with because I've been too nice. Rider System Inc., that company should no longer exist. They are truly criminals. If you look into everything they are doing to manipulate the stock price, keep it up, insider trading, stealing business and firing people that don't deserve it, but literally stealing, planning and coordinating to ruin people's lives, bully them so that they don't fire me. You'll see the details when we get there, but fuck you, Rider System Inc. Fuck you, Robert Sanchez. Fuck you, Jeff Wolpop. Fuck you, Brian Weinstein. I want to make sure your lives are just as ruined as all the people's that you've tried to ruin over the years. So I hope the public understands that. Again, I don't think anyone's going to care, but I can only do my best and hope that people understand the message. But yeah, it'll be on YouTube. I'll have some cool content still on TikTok and Instagram and X. But I'm going to keep the focus on YouTube for this series of videos called The Supply Chain Wars. And let's take these people down who don't deserve to be living the lives they're living because they're frauds, they're criminals, and they stole from people and ruined their lives. I'm not going to let them ruin mine. I'm going to grind and figure it out. But I'm coming after them. I'm coming after all of you. Leave it to you to figure out what that means, but I'm not going to stop. So look forward to it. We're going to, each episode, again, might be, I have to figure out how to coordinate it, if it's going to be each year, and I give you a summary of everything that happened, or if I'm going to focus it on certain companies and people. But hope we get some eyes on this because I think it warrants it. And I'll keep you guys updated along the way on my next career moves. I've certainly done everything I can to get away from Ryder, and they don't seem to want to let me be successful in anything else. But yeah, looking forward to it. I hope everyone has a great day, great holiday. Excited that it's December. Normally I'm more excited in December because I do a lot for charities, and I like to volunteer time and donate money, which I no longer have because all these companies and people have stolen all the money that I worked for. And it's very hard to live your life when you're bullied, harassed, and criminals don't seem to give a fuck about stealing from you. It's mind-blowing. I think the industry needs to change entirely. Commission laws need to change. And I'm going to be working on that for a very long time. That is my purpose here. I now realize that maybe there are some good companies and good folks in supply chain. I truly hope so. But I seem to have only encountered the bad ones. Or maybe it's my fault for being too nice and they think they can just walk all over me and take advantage of me, steal my hard-earned work, my years of network and building a book of business that's supposed to pay me every year after I close deals. So game on, motherfuckers. I'm coming for all of you. Watch out.